Welcome back to the Supercar Connection podcast. Just Joe and myself here.
This is my favorite.
Back in the stew, as we said.
Back in the stew.
I've never heard that one before. That's new.
It's a good one though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of swaggy. You know, it's a little bit of LA side. I know
So-
you're not used to that kind of lingo, but it's okay. We'll get you there.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I have failed the people. I do not know what's going on in the supercar world. I did absolutely zero due dilly before this episode, and here we are.
Do dilly on the general news.
Yeah, like what's going on? I've been in Tokyo, or I've been in Japan for a week and a half. Just got back, so my mind has been elsewhere.
Gavin's been off the grid, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
He left me to run Supercar Connection solo for a week and a half. So I'm surprised we didn't crash and burn in that week and a half. But we're back and everything's fine. We're Gucci. But since that, I think we started off today's episode a little bit differently. Maybe hit some audience questions. See what we can kind of spin up from that point on.
Yeah, the audience is going to supply us.
Let's do it.
Since I didn't come prepared.
Yeah.
The good news is we started this because we didn't need to be prepared. We just talked about stuff.
Very true. We literally just sat down and started ripping it. And now fast forward a year and a half later, we are in the eyes of 60 million viewers, supercars, everything else in between. So I'm very happy that we just fucking decided to rip it.
Good decision, huh?
Very good decision.
People every day tell us we need to close shop. I think it's too late for that.
Way too late for that.
I'm sorry to all the people that want us to close shop. If you're listening to this, you probably don't want that. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate it greatly.
But the people on social media find us to be toxic for the environment.
They do. They say the Porsche hate is too much, but
yeah,
we're going to give them what they want.
I think that's their problem.
Hit me.
If we weren't a little toxic, no one would know our name. That's the problem.
That's the whole point.
I mean,
exactly.
Listen to the whole episode. We say some good things. All right. First question. 3-car garage. A daily SUV. A convertible supercar. And then business. I don't know what business means.
I know what he means.
You know what he means?
All right. I can rip that. All right. Daily SUV. I'm assuming no budget, but I'm also not going to go ridiculous because I feel like sometimes we go crazy.
Let's go semi-realism here.
Semi-realism. All right. Daily SUV. Can't beat it. Fantastic. I would do G63 4x4 squared. That's like super daily, comfortable. It's a beef of a truck. It's fantastic. It's G-Wagon interior, the whole nine. You get everything with that.
Can't beat it in your eyes.
In my eyes, yeah. Because again, my eyes, my opinion.
Does it hug you when you turn?
It has to hug you when I turn. It has to. It's the only way.
They have that option on the 4x4?
I think they do.
They have to.
They have to. It's the same shit. It's just fucking lifted on.
If you didn't know, the G63, the bolster hugs you when you turn to keep you in place.
It's a fantastic.
It's a weird feeling. The first time it happened, I didn't know what was happening.
You looked at me, you're like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, did it hug you? It hugged your seat, huh?
Feels good, right?
That's my daily pick for the SUV. Now, he said convertible supercar.
Specifically, supercar convertible.
Supercar convertible. 765 LT Spider. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, yes.
Not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick at all. Canyon Carver, fast as hell, Spider. If you can I would do like an MSO interior, like either all orange or all red or all blue or something like that. That would be hot. The drop top.
All purple?
Something like that. Exactly. That would be pretty nasty too.
I think
there is one out there.
There is.
I think I've seen something like on Instagram where
do you know who has it?
Who?
Legends Geo.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No. His is orange.
Oh, is it orange?
His is orange.
Okay.
His is orange.
Sorry.
His is orange. Geo's orange.
No, you know what? The purple is a GT.
Is that what it is? Yes, it is.
It's a black GT.
It was at Chicago Motor Cars.
Okay.
Down for sale.
It was originally McLaren Charlotte.
Yes. I know exactly the car you're talking about, which is nasty. The purple interior on that car is
yeah, but
nasty.
they went all MSO on a GT,
which is sad.
What a waste.
I know, right?
I feel bad.
All that money just to depreciate.
I hate on the GT. I would take a GT if someone handed it to me.
I wouldn't.
I just want you were right. You got better options. From where I'm at, if someone handed me a GT and said, "Hey, you can have this, you can drive it," I would drive it. I would flex it. I would post pictures of it. I'd be thrilled. The problem is, if you give me the dollars that the GT cost, that's never the car I would end up with.
It quite literally be the last car.
It wouldn't be the last car.
What was my last thing? Business, right?
Carrera would be the last car.
Carrera would be the last car.
Bro. Okay. Go ahead. I got something for you.
All right, but the last one, it was said business, right? So in that sense, I'm going to take it as this, whether he means it or not. I'm taking it as if I'm going to a business event, business setting, business meeting, something like that. Somewhere I'm going to pull up and have presence. But it has to be different because there's a reason why it has its own category in the question. If not, I would pull up in a 765 LT Spider and I'd be like, fuck you. This is what I have. You know what I mean? I'm him. So instead, I'm going to do a little differently. For this, I think the only acceptable answer is a Phantom. That's it. I pull up in the big body Phantom, and you're like, who the fuck is that? I get out, bald, sunglasses, suit and tie, the whole nine, finger tats. They're going to be like, who the hell is this guy getting out of this car doing it? What is he about? It's very mafia vibes. So it'd be G6 344 squared, MSO all red interior 765 LT Spider, and Rolls Royce Phantom. That's for the business, for the allure.
That's a good lineup.
Thank you.
No doubt. I want to say 765 LT as well, just because it's everything that would fit in my lane for what I would want, and a supercar that kind of does everything since I only get one. I'm going to go with a Urus Perf for the SUV.
The daily.
Yeah, just because I can't get multiple supercars in this scenario, it seems like. So we're going to go Urus Perf as the daily.
It's like an actual
or as the
blend.
SUV.
The actual
He said
blend.
SUV.
Yeah, SUV.
Yeah.
It's an actual blend.
The supercar, man, I want to say 765 Spider, but you picked it.
It was a good pick.
So I can't now, right? I got to pick something else.
For the sake of the vibes.
Convertible specifically. I mean, I guess like an SV Roadster.
That's a fucking mint pick.
It is, but I can't. What am I going to drive that in the canyons?
So that's the problem. It's your one car. That's the problem. I should have said SV Roadster so that you can see 75 LT. That's what I should have said.
I might just go 600 LT Spider.
Okay. I respect that.
I think that's going to play, even though it's hard because I have such a higher budget to work with. But
I also think that car's more tailored for your driving.
Right, you're right. That's really it.
It is.
I feel like that car's what I want and what I need. If we're not caring about a dollar figure,
right,
and actually getting what I want and would enjoy, that's kind of the pick.
Because I think part of the thing that people don't realize is like that car for the canyons. It's the same thing with Porsche. Like it's perfectly powered for the canyons.
Mm-hmm. Like
I feel like sometimes 765 LT, which would hang and handle, sometimes if you don't know how to drive, it's too much power, it's too light, and you'll fucking 600 LT is like perfect.
You ready for my last pick?
Yes.
Bentley Mulsanne.
That's not a bad one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the ones from across the road from your guys.
What's the spec on that?
Oh, that'd be tough.
Because there's so many different options on that car. You can make it look
there
crazy.
is. I'd probably go black exterior.
Okay.
Like gloss metallic black with big thick fleck in it.
Murdered out.
Fully. Completely red interior. Red carpets, red dash, red steering wheel, everything black stitching.
Guts, that'd be fucking so sexy.
That's what I would do.
It's a hot pick.
It's a little, simple because you can do so much with the interior. But every time I look at like a two-tone versus a monotone just looks better to me.
Yeah.
So maybe get some crazy stitch patterns, get some crazy trim.
SCC stitched.
I probably wouldn't just go with carbon fiber. I'd probably go with something more like wood grain.
It's a business spec.
Right.
It's got to impress somebody.
But the interior of the Mulsanne, I think. I mean, I haven't actually been in a Mulsanne. I've been in Rolls Royces, so I know how they feel, and they feel like clouds. So I don't know how far off the Mulsanne is. I've always heard that you can't beat Rolls Royce in that aspect. But I've at least sat in a Mulsanne, and like the interior intricacy is a lot higher in the Mulsanne than the Rolls Royce. But the Phantom is pretty wild. We're not talking about a Ghost, or we're not talking about an old Phantom.
That's why I said
the new Phantom with like the starlights and even the lights like in the door panel and everything. It's pretty stupid.
It's wild. That's why that was my pick. I was like, it's
a good pick.
It's a presence car.
So that's where we're at. Okay. This isn't a question. This was something that came to mind, a reminder that I saw and realized.
Hit me.
So one thing we always do is we talk about how overpriced the 911 is. And that's our number one problem with the car. It's not that it's a bad car. It's that it's way overpriced for what you're getting compared to everything else you could get. So they announced their price increases for 2026. And this is my number one problem with the 911. It always has been. They announced their price increases for 2026 in the base Carrera, the entry 911, the cheapest you possibly pay before any options, anything. $129,950.
Not a single option.
That's not even delivery. So you're over 130 with not a single option.
That's so bad. So they're doing
a base Carrera.
They're doing price increases on what basis? Is this tariff related, or they're just increasing the price on all the models for whatever reason? Porsche's just doing it. Wow. I thought it'd be
Crazy.
like a tariff related thing. It's not even.
If I'm not wrong, I think the pricing came out before the tariff.
Wow. I didn't know that.
But
That's terrible.
130 grand for a base Carrera.
That's so bad, dude. You can get a fully loaded Z06 for that exact price.
That's literally the title of the Car and Driver article. 2026 Porsche 911 Carrera now costs more than a loaded Corvette Z06.
What do you fucking know? I'm telling you.
That is crazy.
Porsche's doing it to themselves, dude.
Right.
They're doing it to themselves.
Because, like, I go sit in a base Carrera. It's not the manufacturer spec that you see on the nice turbo on Instagram. People aren't posting pictures of the interiors of base Carreras. It's a lot of plastic. It's not like, it's super basic.
It's dog shit.
Yeah,
It's dog shit.
It's not great.
But it's a Porsche, and there's people that would sit in it and look at the Porsche and be like, wow, this is so nice.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. This is all that it is.
It is base materials.
It's stupid.
130 grand.
Think of the interior of the Z06.
Right.
The blue.
If you want to get to that kind of interior, the 3LT, the loaded Z06 level interior, you're spending 150, 160 on the car.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Because those options climb quick.
Easy.
And they can get very nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. You
We've
can't
seen
make them nice.
We've seen some 6 Turbo S interiors and GT3 RS interiors and everything in between.
I was actually looking and scrolling through some options today on the Porsche market because I was seeing prices of GT3 RS just out of my curiosity. And I scrolled, but I couldn't. I was on Auto Trader and it wasn't letting me click like the trim level. So I had to just put the year Porsche and the national. I put the price to 300K because I was like, the only thing that could be in this range is a GT3 RS. But a couple Turbo S's were there with like crazy specs. It was insane. But then I thought about it. I go, 300K for a fucking Turbo S? There's no way on the planet Earth you can convince me to ever spend that money on that car. And there's people that are going to spend that money on that car because it's a nice spec.
Well, that spec, if you're spending $300,000 on a Turbo S, money doesn't matter.
100%.
That's what I would say.
100%.
Money doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
You can pay that for the Turbo S because it doesn't matter. And you want the nicest of the nice. You want every option. You want the turn signal stock to be covered in leather. You know? You were willing to pay the extra $1,500 for that.
I can't believe that, dude.
They'll really do that. They'll cover every
single thing.
You can get whatever you want covered.
That's it. They'll cover you in leather.
Yeah, they will.
You ask for it.
Yeah. Have you seen like the roll cages covered in leather?
No, I haven't seen those.
It looks pretty. It looks pretty sick.
Actually?
Yes.
I thought it'd be questionable.
Because you got the stitching down the bars and everything.
That's kind of nice, yeah.
It's kind of sick.
It gives me more dungeon vibes, but I guess whatever. My bad.
I need someone to try and justify that though. Someone please justify
There's no case.
$130,000 price tag on a base 911.
There's no case.
We've driven it. We've driven one. We just can't drive apparently.
Make your best argument on your reason to purchase a base 911 Carrera for $130,000
With no options.
with no options.
So 150 after you tick any box.
I just
Because
can't.
that's a Porsche.
Like, I don't care. I'm going to put all my bias aside. Everything, every ounce of me. There's no case scenario where I could do that. There's just not. There's not.
No.
There's no case scenario. I just can't. When you creep up into like the GTS or the GT4 world, like GT4 and up tier Porsche, if you want me to not be the Porsche hater that I am, that we all have come and known to love, I can make some type of positive argument for those cars, GT4s, GTSs, turbos, Turbo S's, GT3s, GTRS, all those 6 cars, 7 cars, whatever it is, I can make some type of argument at that price point. Anything below that, there is not a single valid argument or valid anything to combat any other car in those price ranges. So what is that? Basically like 200K and under?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Brand new, base Carrera, or McLaren GT?
What spec is the McLaren GT?
The kind of spec you would get for 140?
I'm still getting the McLaren GT.
Yeah?
Yeah, I am. Doors go up. Fuck you, doors go up. That's I don't even need anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it's much faster as well.
It is.
So.
And I also feel like at that price point, like, if you're buying the car in that price point, you're trying to get the best bang for that buck. You're less worried about, I guess, depreciation in a sense.
Best flex for that buck.
Exactly. So I think the McLaren GT is the right
Because
answer.
the Z06 would be best bang for your buck.
It would be. Well, Z06 is best bang for your buck in any price. It is what it is. I don't want to go down that rant. But you're picking the GT2, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
All right.
McLaren G. You know what's funny? When we drove the Carrera, we drove the McLaren GT that same day.
Yep.
Back to back.
Yep.
So this was actually the perfect question. I didn't even realize it.
It was.
I would take the GT, 100%.
I actually even just brought up something else in my mind too by saying GT2, but I meant GT as well. But
Yeah, right.
speaking of
I know what you meant,
GT2, yeah. Speaking of the GT2, that car is going to come out sometime soon. And I have a really, 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 now this can be either way, but I have a feeling, and I'm more so curious, what is it going to do to the rest of the Porsche market when it comes out? R3RS is going to fall off in price.
It depends on if they like put any sort of limit on how many they sell.
Okay.
Because like the 3RS is not capped. They're cranking them.
They're pumping production units on those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The 2RS, will they crank or will they say we're only making 1250?
I think if I know the Porsche, especially the recent Porsche,
it's going to be a lot.
like of money,
Yeah.
it'll be up there.
Like
I mean, it's their flagship car.
It'll be like 500.
Nah, no, not MSRP. It'll sell for 500 after markups and all the horse, but MSRP, no. It'll be a high 3 MSRP.
You think so?
Yeah. I would see, okay.
I think they're looking at everything and going,
we can do this.
We could price this at 450 base.
People will buy it.
And people will buy it.
Yeah. That's the fucking problem with Porsche, though. That's the problem. That's the shit that doesn't make any sense to me. They know that. They take advantage of the people, and the people come back and buy.
Everyone does that.
Not everybody does that.
Look at Ferrari.
Corvette don't do that. They don't. Corvette made a monster of a car, and we're like, it's going to be more expensive than it has been, but it's still not outrageous. They made a Huracan competitor, and it's not even near Huracan pricing.
Do you know why they do that?
Why?
Because if they did price it way up there, they wouldn't sell any.
I disagree with that.
The market's not there.
I disagree with that.
They would sell a few, but they would not sell many.
They would not sell. I mean, obviously, you sell because you know what they're selling.
Because
now.
The Corvette cult following are not $200,000 buyers. Let's say the Z06 is $200,000, where for what you get is probably like a decent ask for the package compared to anything else you can get for $200,000. People were paying that at the beginning when it was limited and it was new and it was this special thing. No one's paying that now.
Well, because this is a natural depreciation of that car.
Right, but if that was the new price, they would still be $200,000 today, and no one would be buying them, and they'd be selling them 50 under. They're selling for under sticker right now.
I understand that because that's the way it's going. But okay, even let's just say this right now. Put a Z06 at $200,000 right now. Let's just say that that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What's a better car at that price?
You got to tweak your question.
Okay, tweak it for me then.
What's a car people would rather have at that price?
What's the answer? Because you tell me LP580, you're full of shit.
That's not what I was going to say.
You tell me the only other option that I think is viable, which I know is what you're going to say, is a 600 LT. 600
LT, you can get 720s. Maybe that's tough, but there's a lot of people out there that would take a 911 GTS over a Z06.
I think that's what's wrong with the world.
Because right now, you're looking at the Z06 competing with the Carrera, and some people are picking Carrera. Now bump it up to GTS. Now it's in a different weight class.
It still shits on it, though. The Z06 shits on the GT3. You can literally put the numbers next to it. You can fucking Z06, G3, right here, numbers. Ready? Everyone look here, numbers. And this still shits on this.
Depends where.
Okay, everywhere except Nuremberg.
Nuremberg.
That's
how you say it.
Yep, because that's how I say it, because fuck you. But That's literally what it is. GT3, Z06, this still shits on it.
That's a wild take.
It is. Porsche's a fucking terrible brand, bro. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it. That's fucked up. I didn't know they were doing price increasing, and now on top of that, like they're 100% going to do that to the GT2. It's going to be overpriced, and people are going to pay for it. Those cars will sell for $600,000 with the fucking market adjustment to the dealers.
Easy.
You know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
So what's it going to do to the rest of the Porsche market?
I don't think anything.
Really?
Yeah. You're in a different echelon at that point. which is one of your favorite words.
I don't know. I think the 3RSs are going to fall off a cliff.
I still, it's just like, it's a different car for kind of a different purpose. Like, it's different.
Okay, then
because
Turbo
they've done this
S's will
before.
fall off.
Because they've done this before. They've
They
had a
have.
2RS.
Can
It
we look at the trends back then?
It's pre-COVID, so it doesn't really.
Everything's fucked then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say theoretically the GT3 doesn't fall off a cliff because it's engineered differently, it's a different car, blah, blah, blah. The Turbo S's will fall off a cliff. Or depreciate.
Still different.
It's not,
Still
though.
different. Yes, it is.
It's not, though.
Yes, it is.
It's not, though.
Because the Turbo S buyer goes and buys a GT2 RS, and they go, this sucks. It's so uncomfortable. It's so bumpy. And they go back and they sell it and they get their Turbo S again.
This one might not be like that,
Because the Turbo S driver doesn't care about all the things that we care about.
I don't know, man.
They just want a comfortable, fast, perfect little car.
Remember, this is not
That's
going
all
to
they
be
want.
the same GT2 as we've seen before. This is going to be electric components on top of it. It's going to ride pretty damn smooth.
It's still going to have an extremely stiff suspension.
I agree, but it's going to be it's going to be
It's
smoother
going to be
than
just
the 3RS.
it's going to be just as stiff as the 3RS.
It's going to be smoother.
Smoother.
Yep.
It's going to be just as stiff.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Because you're the Porsche expert, huh?
I'm not saying I'm an expert at all, but I'm just saying it's not. I
Sounds
promise
like you think you are.
Well, I think I'm the expert of everything, but I'm just saying.
How's that worked out for you?
Pretty fucking well. Pretty fucking well.
Fair. Questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do we got on the CTSV Blackwing? Ain't a Lambo, but still sick.
They're nice cars.
Yeah.
For what they are, yeah.
Ain't a Lambo, but still sick. I think that's a fair sentiment.
Very fair sentiment.
I think those cars do look good.
The four doors, right? The fucking
The CTSV Blackwing? Yeah.
They're nice. The
With all the black
part,
trim. You get a matte white one with the black trim. They're pretty sick.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I think that's got like the is it the
LT4s.
C7 Z06
The
engine?
LT4s, yeah.
The 650?
I
Yeah.
think that's what they're having in those new cars.
And they sell it with a manual. Everyone loves.
And you can fit your kids in the back.
Yep. You can take your kids to school with a 650 horsepower supercharged 6-speed manual.
And it's luxury because
Just like the good old days. It's luxury.
Cadillac.
Have you been in a Cadillac besides an Escalade?
I've been.
Like Escalade.
I drove for like 2 weeks. I had a rental car. I had a fucking what's their crossover? I don't know the name of the damn crossover. It's like their RAV4.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's like it may be the XT6 or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Something like that.
XT4, XT5.
That. I think I drove an XT4. It was not bad. It was pretty smooth. But
Okay.
again,
Pretty smooth.
it's pretty smooth. It just literally feels like I'm
Sound
driving
like the
a
old man.
luxurious RAV4.
It's pretty smooth.
I don't want to sound like him.
Next week we call him Buick Smooth. I know the old man appreciates a Buick.
He does. We got one in the shop the other day. He was like, "We don't get a lot of these." I was like, "Get out, get out."
They're actually pretty nice now. You know, back in my day,
On some bullshit. Always.
this
on
was the
some-
cream of the crop.
Always on some bullshit.
Flat plane versus regular and overhead cams versus push rods. Cowboy FX. I ain't that smart.
Cowboy FX asked this.
Yeah.
Ash, please stop. Don't ask this topic. Ash doesn't know the difference. Ash can't even explain.
Oh, you know who this is?
Yeah, I do know what it is. Yes, he couldn't even explain the differences in the differences of the types of those in the motor. But I'm not going to.
I know flat plane versus regular, but I'm not a cams and push rod.
We're not cam push rod kind of guys.
No.
My grandpa would kill me for saying that,
Right.
but we're not cam.
He's
push rod
going
kinda
to. He's
guys.
going to hear this.
He is.
Shout out.
I think what we can talk about for that question to suffice him, and I'll give him something, is the sound that those motors produce.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. The push rod and the push plot and the fucking the cammed is the boat. It's the Lake Havasu chop. Blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, 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 blah. Flat plane is the high revving. Blah,
No,
blah,
it's chugga chuck chugga chuck.
I wish we could put that clip of him right here on this part of the episode.
I still remember.
You do. Like I can remember us arguing in the
Mhm.
shop in the middle of it.
Yeah.
The flat plane sounds the best, in my opinion. Now I used to be like a cam kind of guy, but
Mhm.
then I grew up and then I was like, this sounds better.
Yeah. You want
Everything
that?
It's fun. A lot more fun. A lot more fun.
People like when I make the noise. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't read comments. I don't know what you think about me.
I read
Just
all the
kidding.
comments.
I'll read some of the comments.
If you guys want to know, I do
I'll read
read
the nice ones.
every single comment. So you want to talk shit and be a comment, I will read it. I promise you. Do we have any more?
Yeah.
How many do we have?
What got you guys enough capital, which got you to where you are with great vehicles?
That's a really good question. Say it again.
What got you, basically, what have you done to be able to get the cars you have?
Oh, trading. That's my simple answer. Should I give am I allowed to give like a fucking complex answer or no?
However much you want.
Trading. I started off trading, was able to gather enough funds through that. And of course, everything else I was kind of doing, and then took that and then had enough balls to go and buy a supercar all cash and took a risk. And then from that moment on, it propelled me forward and everything else. So that's not financial advice. Don't go buy a supercar all cash. It's just the situation I was in and the opportunity was there. So I capitalized on it because I did buy the car at a good price at the time. So that's my short-term answer.
We're ditching the shop.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the shop helps too, but the money I used was from the trading money.
Yeah.
I have buckets.
Mm-hmm.
The money that I bought the Ferrari with was a trading bucket.
Yeah. Well, I have a VA Vantage, so
Still a nice fucking car, dude.
it's very nice.
Very nice car.
It's less expensive than it appears, but it's beautiful and it's nice. It was 150 for somebody, and it was 50 something for me. So, biggest thing, I just bought really smart. I was in corporate for a long time. No longer, thank God, I'm out of that world. We're in the unemployed life. But I think the biggest thing was I bought a Lotus Elise. Didn't have it long, but sold it for like $3,000 more than I bought it for. And then got the 4C. I drove the 4C for 3.5 years and also sold it for $2,000 more than I bought it for after 3.5 years of driving it.
How many miles did you put on that thing?
12,000.
In 3 years?
Yeah.
I feel like you drove.
I was working from home, so I wasn't driving it that much.
I remember the era now.
But 12,000 miles, 3.5 years, sold it for $2,000 more. You factor in what I spent on whatever maintenance and taxes. I was down like maybe $2,000 or $3,000 at the end of it, but $2,000 or $3,000 for a car that long. So by the end of the 3.5 years, the car was paid off, and I had a big chunk of money to be able to use towards my next car, things like that. So that's kind of the game I've played. It's just buy cars that don't lose value. Then they're like gaining equity. So when you go to sell it,
it's a really exotic car hacks type of
right
mindset right there.
It's like me and I always give Meg a hard time that I'm the car guy, but her car is way more expensive than mine. It's not as expensive, but it loses so much more value. Like
the cost of ownership.
Right. The cost of ownership on that car is like $30,000 down. Yeah. And then my car was $2,000 down. Loss. So it's like, okay, buy smarter, not harder. But
that's the secret, really. Just make good decisions.
Make good decisions. Buy the right cars at the right price. Treat them well and build them up. So when you sell it, they're in better shape than when you got it. Like 100%. My Aston right now is already in better shape than when I got it. Just little tweaks, little changes, little tips. You took care of me.
What are all the tips and things that you've been able to do on that car? Walk us through the Aston 1.0 to Aston 2.0.
Well, first I got the car. The battery was dead or super low. So it pretty much died on me. So I replaced the battery like immediately. The seat didn't move, the front seat at all. Like the adjustment buttons didn't work. And I was kind of nervous about that. But then I figured out on the internet how to reset it. After like 50 tries, it finally clicked and worked and started moving again. So great.
That's a huge win.
Right. It's already like, hey, you're
win.
Buying an Aston with a broken seat. That's going to be a tough sell later on, but seat works.
Because that's electrical. So like when you get into the thick of that, that's fucking, that's a win.
Right. So already it's the less value on a seat that doesn't work. Now it does. Now the car's already worth more because it's not a problem someone else has to deal with. The wheels, painted them from gold to black, which I think just appeals to a broader audience when I go to sell the car. I actually liked the gold a lot because I'm like that. Yeah.
I know what you're going to say. Don't worry. Attention whore, I'll say it. But
one of my friends nicknamed me Gaudy Gav, which is funny because I'm kind of like
Gotti Gav.
Gotti
I
Gav.
like that.
Because I like gold and I like stuff. I'm flashy. I like attention.
There's nothing wrong with that, baby.
No, that's why I'm talking on the internet. I like attention. That's why we did 60 million views, baby.
Last 30 days. I fucking love it so much. What else you do to the fucking car?
Do tires. Lowered it. And touched up the... I feel like you're waiting on me to say something.
I don't even think you remember everything that's been done to the car. Do I have to run you through your
No,
Aston Martin list or what?
I touched up the grill. The grill's black. It had little rock chips all in it. Touched that up real quick. We got a couple dents fixed. We got the Euro bumper. It got rear-ended, and the bumper that came in was the Euro spec because they were basically out of North American spec bumpers. We didn't specify. It's just what they sent. Euro spec bumper, sick. No reflectors for me.
Which really does make the car look a lot more sleeker.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
lot
better.
more James Bond.
It's better.
You don't realize it, and then seeing it, I was like, fuck.
Right.
The
Okay.
reflectors were bulky.
Less reflectors.
Yeah.
They are bulky.
I
They're
didn't-
bulky and
yeah.
they're orange.
I can't believe it.
Now we got no reflectors, so
Yeah.
that's kind of sick. The front dash lining always peels on these cars because the leather shrinks and then they peel on the front. I guess the windshield basically creates a frying pan up front. So just got that recovered. That's going back in the car. It's another like common problem that you're like, hey, has the dash peeling? I can go, no, it's been taken care of. So it's all those little things. It's like when you go to buy the car, it's like the common problems. I can go, done, done, done. Those are done. It's just a better value prop for the next guy because you're giving them less things to nickel and dime you on, right?
Right.
So you can get the premium dollar for the car.
Did you get the pen?
The pen. We got the pen.
Got the pen.
Yeah.
Because you bought the car. What was the buying situation on that car?
In what way?
Like you bought the car from? Are we allowed to say it?
Are we allowed to say it? We bought the car from Lauren. We won't say where she was working at the time, but Lauren hooked it up.
But she forgot the pen.
Well, she didn't forget the pen.
She misplaced the pen.
No,
No?
the auction.
That's what did it.
Yeah. Basically,
How did we get the pen then?
she ordered a new pen.
She took care of you for doing the pen then.
She did. She took care
Not
of the
bad.
pen because in the auction photos,
Huh?
in the auction photos, the pin's there. And then by the time the car got to Lauren from the auction, the pin's gone. So some inspector was probably like, "Oh, that's cool." Maybe pocketed it. I don't know. But it was in the pictures and then it was gone by the time Lauren got the car from auction.
So
So
your car is fully problematic solved. Has everything that came from original on the car. Pretty good spec.
yeah, and there's nothing on the market right now.
Really?
I should probably low-key list it
And so
because there's not a single good Vantage on the market. We're like desirable spec.
Right.
Desirable spec, I'll say that. Lots of convertibles, no hard tops, and the convertible. The best thing about that car is the sleekness and the shape, the design. It's a work of art. It's a masterpiece. The convertible ruins that. So the convertible is
That's
always cheaper. But there's like no coupes. For my car, if I listed it, there would be no competition. There's no other options.
So you're the market then.
That car is the market. I mean, it's the market in the sense that there's $65,000, $70,000 ones that are better than mine. But that like mid 50s, high 50s market, it's the market.
You can push 60s on that car?
It'd be tough.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is something I wanted to talk about. I think it's a natural segue into that topic. Is now the right time to sell your car or buy a car with this whole tariff thing looming? Do we think the tariffs are going to really adjust it? Are they really going to hold? Are we going to solve it and make trade deals with everybody? Should you sell your car now? Should you go buy a car now? What the fuck do you do? How do you navigate the tariff world that we live within the automotive space?
Well, first of all, by the time this episode comes out, it's going to have been like a week and a half. So who knows what changes happen between now
That's very fair.
and by the time anyone's listening to this
That's fair.
10 days later. But I don't really know. Initially, I thought the move was probably that used cars would go up in value, which I think they've started maybe, kind of like the COVID effect. And there'd be a moment where new cars haven't gone up yet, but used cars have, which is like the deal that we got Megan's car. It was the perfect timing, perfect COVID timing. Right when used cars started spiking, the value of her piece of junk Nissan Juke became worth $11,000 trade-in, which made absolutely 0 cents. It's like a $5,000 car. And we were like, we have to go trade this in. Now. And we went over, and new stock had not gone up yet. And we got her Volvo at an insane lease price. And that car was most of the payment. And we made out like a bandit. So could that scenario play out again, where there's a window before the new cars get hit and used cars have already bumped? So trading in is like you're getting that maximum spread. I feel like that's played out before. If we're looking at the chart, that's the path, that's the history,
That's
you know?
pattern, baby.
That's one of the indicators. That's the MACD.
Our side. I think what I'm curious is, because this is something that happened that I really did not expect to happen. So I'm quite literally, now I think anything can happen. Before I was set on what I thought was going to happen, but Mercedes came out and said that they are going to eat the blow of the tariffs and not move the price on their cars. And there's already cars landed that I think are tariff infected, and they have not changed the price. So I was not expecting, because traditionally speaking, people don't know how capitalism and the system works. Anytime there's an increase, like back, I remember when everyone was talking about minimum wage for like McDonald's workers and stuff like that, everyone was like, yeah, McDonald's employees should have more minimum wage. They should get paid more. Yes, that's all fine and dandy. But then when you think about it, people don't understand the actual effect of the shit that goes on. Your McDonald's employee getting paid more does not mean anything other than the fact that you're going to pay more for the McDonald's product, because McDonald's, the corporation, is not going to absorb the cost of having to pay their employees more. They're just going to make the products more expensive. So you're the consumer, the end user, is the one that gets fucked. In this scenario, Mercedes, surprisingly to me, they are eating the cost. So it's no one's getting affected, at least in Mercedes' cause. So does that mean, if, let's just say the tariffs go in and act and everything's 25%, blah, blah, blah. Does every other like manufacturer follow suit and nothing really changes? Or are the couple manufacturers like Land Rover's talking about not selling cars here that worth 30% of their market?
Good luck.
They're going to fucking go bankrupt.
Yeah, that's tough.
So it's like, I'm very curious to see. Now, granted, honest opinion, 10 days from now it comes out. I think, not by then, but I think before anything happens, we'll come to new trade agreements with every major country that imports cars, and we'll be fine. But it's fun to talk about the possibilities, because it really can do a multitude of things. I'm just surprised that Mercedes ate the fucking thing.
Are they a publicly traded company?
Mercedes? That's a good question. I should know that. I think they are.
Because that would change a lot.
I think that. Well, Rolls-Royce is, Ferrari is, Toyota is. I think Mercedes is too. Don't quote me on that as a fucking trader here. It's kind of bad, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
But again,
because you know the stock market is what breaks everything, right?
Breaks everything in terms of what? The fucking, like what?
Everything.
But
the whole economic system.
Yes and no. It does.
It's an inevitable time bomb.
In a sense.
And the stock market is the driver.
In a sense.
Because it demands constant growth in a fixed environment.
It's very true.
So it creates scenarios where Microsoft can be 7% more profitable than the year before. More profitable, not more revenue, more profit than the year before. But since the 7% increase was less than their like 18% increase the year before that, the stock goes down, even though they were more profitable than the year before.
Very true.
And then they don't give any of their employees a raise, even though they were more profitable than the year before, because the stock market, the share price, is more important than even the people that are building the actual company.
Well, because who owns majority of those shares?
BlackRock?
Well, that's the right answer. But usually the founders or something like that, the ones that have the best interests. So they are the ones that are like, the stock price matters. And they're, at the end of the day, behind the scenes, in case somebody doesn't know that, they're the ones that control the actual stock price. That's what people don't realize. Right. So I get you 100%. That's why I think it's
that's across
weird.
The board for everything.
Yeah.
And that system can go on for only so long.
There will be an end.
Yes.
It's the way that it works. There will be a point where this is too much and it's not viable. And there will be, will everything end? We'll have to shift. Is that when crypto takes over? Is it the end of times? All this crazy ass shit. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Just know that the stock market's been going up like 10-ish% for the recent history years average, and average wages go up 1%. So in the market growth, the people that are laboring to build the market get 1% of that cut. The people that are just have capital in the market and aren't laboring at all get 90% of that cut. That's where it's all broken.
But isn't investing and buying stocks like gambling? Isn't it what everyone just says?
Kind of.
I think trading has elements to gambling, but
Trading.
You need to have systems.
It's all
like
gambling because you're sticking money into a broken system that could break at any time. It's a Jenga tower. And you're just hoping that your money's in before the piece gets pulled that makes it all collapse.
I don't know if it'll ever fully collapse until like there's something ready, or whatever, whoever controls it is ready to have a system to replace
Well, even
it.
fully. Because 2008, lots of people with lots of money became broke.
Extremely.
Because you have all this money in the stock market. Everything you have becomes valueless. And if you can leave it in, if you can afford to leave that money in, I mean, it wasn't until 2013 that it actually reached back that level. It's 7 years later.
It's fucking crazy.
So you had to ride that out for 7 years. And most people needed the money in the stock market to keep living. They lost their jobs. Their houses weren't worth anything. So most people had to pull it out at way less value.
Because they couldn't go to their home equity either, because that shit was fucking toast. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's the whole thing, though. Like,
it doesn't have to be a full crash.
It doesn't.
But stuff like that can happen at any time. So yes, it is kind of gambling.
In a sense, we had, I mean, like the last couple of weeks, we had 3 days of like the worst fucking decline. Like, I remember reading the report. It was like stock market declines for the most in a single day. And it was Thursday, it set the record. And then Friday broke Thursday's record. And then Monday broke the following record. So it had like 3 record days back to back to back. And that was a huge sell off based on all the Trump shit. But we're not all the way back, but we've through just like calmly. We haven't solved any problems. Nothing's actually changed. No trade agreements. We've just calmly kind of come back up. We're not all the way where we used to, but we already quote unquote bottomed out, which I don't think is the case.
Right. But also there's a lot of people that talking about those record days and all that stuff. And what I was trying to always, because like me and I was debating this with somebody. The short term does not matter. It matters for a day trader. But in the like overall health of the stock market, a couple days, even though they're record days, like zoom out. We're still way up from 5 years ago. Way up. I remember when the NASDAQ hit 19,000.
Yeah, it was a fucking
in 2020.
It's the craziest shit ever.
It ain't anywhere near 20,000 right now.
Yeah.
So we are up. So even though you have some record days, you got to zoom out. Have we really impacted the long term yet? I guess the potential could still be to do so.
Yeah.
But a couple record days, people are looking at the stock market app that shows you red from yesterday. It's like the stock market price relative to yesterday, if you're not a day trader, should not matter.
Hell no, not at all.
But most of these people are retired people who are checking this thing every day. And because that's all they have to do.
That's their livelihood.
Yeah.
It's built into that. I feel so bad for so many people with their 401ks that lost it, because it's also timing too. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys will see that a lot of the people that like the news and Yahoo Finance, they publish news that's not even real or like relative. I made a video about it, but they posted at Yahoo Finance made an article posting like a headline talking about Apple stock surges. The entire day, all it did was fall. The entire day. And I was literally dumbfounded. I was talking to her. I was like, I'm dumbfounded the fact that they can do this. So then I started thinking of all the implications. And it's like, and I think this goes into the car market and everything else in between.
Everything else in between?
If we don't come to an agreement on shit, what's going to happen? Like, what if China and us, we don't come to an agreement? We're just not in agreement. It's going to be a massive implications across the board. And we're going to have to scramble and figure things out and where to get this, where to get that, how we're going to do this. It's going to have so many implications.
There's a reason it's called a trade war.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a war. It's a form of war.
It is. People don't realize that.
In war, there are casualties. It's either people or it's people's. In a trade war, it's just people's money.
Yep.
So your money is the casualty in the trade war.
And if you're over leveraged in said trade war, you're fucked.
Right. Or if you don't have leverage and you're just trying to buy some groceries and some gas and have a job, you're also in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, you're cooked. You're also pretty cooked.
Yeah. So
I think we're blessed that we're like, our worry is figuring out if our car prices are going to go up. Or down.
oh, 100%. Are you kidding me? It's not. My life is so easy, and I'm so grateful for that.
Very blessed. Very blessed.
So, yeah, very thankful. Anyway, we got like 30 minutes.
Really?
So,
How long have we been going?
by the way, we're both. I was a finance major. He's a finance. What's it called? Master. Finance master. He's better than me.
That's not the case. Gavin actually did his work in his 4 years.
Yeah, I wasn't the guy on my laptop in the story. I was the one with the notebook dialed in.
For you guys that do know that story, Gavin and I are actually best friends with that person. So it's the three of us. We're a little throuple, but.
All right, you want another question?
Yeah, let's do it.
In your opinion, why do people cop the Huracan over the 720 when the 720 is low-key cheaper?
Why do people cop the Huracan over 720 when the 720 is low-key cheaper?
That's the question.
Because they're idiots. That's exactly the only acceptable answer. There is no world where that's a better choice. Any point.
Reliability is your answer you're looking for.
Yeah, but we're not like lame.
I'm just giving him the answer. Why do people cop it? One, it's a Lamborghini, not a McLaren. And Lamborghini holds more brand weight to the general public. And we're talking about a lot of people making these decisions are not car people.
That's fair.
Even if you are. A Huracan's fun. All right? Huracan's a fun car to drive.
Yeah, they're great cars. They're great cars. I don't want to shit on it too bad.
Yeah,
I mean, the doors don't even go up. But
people want to hate. Yeah, that's a little disappointing.
That is
the 720 is way more of a fun car, and the doors do go up, and it looks better. And it's kind of got everything going for it. Just reliability. You're not going to have any sneaky $20,000 bills come up with a Huracan, most likely, unless you're doing some crazy stuff.
Can I speak like a douchebag for the sake of the question one time?
Sure.
I think part of the dynamic that's happening is like the barrier to entry to these cars has become a lot easier. So you have people that probably shouldn't be buying these cars have the ability to crack the car. So like the reliability and all this stuff and how much it's going to hold value is such more like important dynamic to the whole picture. If you're at that price point and you can afford the car and you want to be about it, be fucking about it. And that's the 720. Is it going to give you problems? Fuck yeah. Is it fast as shit? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you something? You tell me if I'm wrong. You've got to be able to if you're financing the car, the Huracan you're going to get way better terms on.
Absolutely.
Because
residuals higher.
Because the residual value and everything like that. So you can own the Huracan for a much cheaper down payment and monthly payment than a 720.
And cost of ownership.
So cheaper is the sticker price that you're looking at, the sale price.
Yep.
But the actual cost of ownership, the Huracan is way cheaper, both through financial structure and the maintenance and
100%.
worries.
100%.
So that's why people cop it.
And it's not even that much cheaper. Like there are 720s closer to the bottom of the 200 where there's Huracans in the mid 150s now. Granted, fucking LP 580s. I think the part of the problem too is people forget about this. 720 was 2018 and they were shit. 2019 they were shit. 2020 they got better, and then 23 you have a 5-year run at that car. Huracan is what? How long of a run? 10 years?
2014 to 2025. No, they stopped making them.
So 10 years?
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing too. So like part of it is it's kind of fucked because you can't compare like there's Huracans that are cheaper, but they're also 9-year-old, 7-year-old Huracans versus even a 2018 720. The problem with this is that shit's cheap because those cars were the most problematic ones. So like a 2020 is like the realistic comparison to an Evo. So let's do a 2020 720 versus an Evo, which is a 2020 Huracan. They're not that much cheaper.
Right.
They're a little bit. Like you can
Pretty
find
close.
a 2020 with high ass miles for like 240, 250. And Evo's what? 260, 270?
But you're going to get great terms on the Evo.
You are. So like, but the whole thing of him saying, even though it's cheaper, it's really not that much cheaper.
No.
But it is that much of a better car.
Yeah.
From a driver perspective.
I would say it is. I would just say that the Huracan is cheaper to own.
It is.
Through financial terms.
Cost of
ownership.
100%.
And as you know, a lot of these entry-level flexers, which guilty, just giving you the insider knowledge. I'm not hating on this, just giving you the insider knowledge. Most of these people can barely afford what they have.
1,000,000%.
So that extra $400 a month, hey, 50 down and $2,400 a month on the Huracan compared to we need 80 down on the McLaren. I don't have 80 liquid.
There's no way.
I can do the 50, but I can't do the 80. And that's your difference right there.
Yep.
That guy, he may not even just be able to afford the down payment on the McLaren compared to the Huracan, because that's the scenario in a lot of these situations. Am I wrong?
Not at all. You're
Right.
quite literally spot on.
Right. People overflexing, which
it.
I'm all about that life. It's not, because for me, it's not about the flex. For me, it's about the car.
100%.
It's where I want to spend my money. So whatever.
But
Budget the car.
because we're the same in that sense. We're the same in that sense. But your version of what did you said fake flexing? That's the term we used, right? There's limits to that, and there's like, again, it goes back to what we were talking about the market and shit being over leveraged. Like those people are over leveraged in those cars. And if you're over leveraged in a Huracan, like you need to take a reality check, step back, stop validating fucking social media and all this bullshit, and actually build yourself up so that when you can buy a Huracan, it's not in a over leveraged position and you can actually enjoy the car.
And if you're using it for marketing, it shouldn't take long.
It shouldn't.
It should change your situation. From what I've seen with people, your situation should change in like 6 months.
Honestly, that's a good question. Is the Huracan even valid to be able to use for marketing anymore?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Maybe not as much on like social media, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
I'm
still show
tainted.
up. You still show up to like events and stuff. You're
Non-car
still
people.
anybody but you and a
But
couple of people.
I feel like most car people most people in the scene look at a Huracan the way we look at a Huracan. Is that
I don't
fair
look
to
at a
say?
Huracan that way.
Okay, maybe I'm fucked up then. My bad. I don't know. I feel like most people do. Go to the hate on our clips or on the Huracan.
Yeah, they go.
Huracan's this, Huracan's that. No one's fucking 75% of the people commenting don't have a fucking Huracan.
They go both ways.
That's fair.
They go both ways. There's hate and there's love, because one of our back in the day, Kenton Cars said that the Huracan was the most underrated car because everyone hates on it, and that video ran, and everyone was like, "Yeah, the Huracan's awesome. Why do people hate on the Huracan?" Even Jake Paul got in on the mix and commented that his Perf was his favorite car.
Perf fucks.
Yeah.
Perf does fuck.
I love the Perf.
Perf does fuck.
I almost said Perf earlier in the scenario, the three car scenario, Perf convertible, but just that rag top,
It just doesn't do it.
it just ruins
doesn't do it.
ruins me.
Z06 hardtop.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What's a good entry level supercar based on performance, respect, and reliability? Goes right into that question. Performance, respect, and reliability. So you got multiple things, because you just say performance. The Z06 is your great entry, but
So you're calling it a supercar?
I mean,
Don't walk away, bitch. You
Entry level
No. You
supercar?
said it. You said it. Don't walk back now because I pointed it out. You said it. We said it.
we said
He
it.
said it.
We said it
He
here
said it.
first.
He said it.
We've actually said it multiple times.
I've said it multiple times. He said it. He validated it. It is a supercar. That's a great answer. I can kiss you right now.
Yeah,
Go
low
ahead.
key.
Next thing. Keep rolling.
But your respect meter isn't high.
To the general public, yeah. With me, your respect meter's through the roof.
Right,
I
right.
love you.
Which is
We
funny.
can be friends.
Yeah. Drive a Huracan, you're nobody to Joe. Z06, you're the man.
We're like this.
Yes.
We're locked in for life.
So, reliability, obviously good. Then you look at the 720. Performance bar, max.
to the roof.
Yep. Respect, pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Maybe 8, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
9? 8, 9?
I would say so.
Other than everyone's like, oh, unreliable back part. And then reliability, 5, 4, 3,
3 to 4.
3 to 4, 3 to 4. Plug it in when you're.
It's fucked because it's really like a case scenario basis. Like
Mhm.
18, 19 is 0.
Mhm.
A 2020, it's a 4 or 5. But then again, how many miles does it have? What problems have been solved on it? If any problems have been solved on it? There's a bunch of shit. But
Then you got a Huracan, performance, 8,
fuck no.
7,
4.
not 4. Come on,
4.
4. I guess
4.
what's the scale? Are we just looking at supercars? So
Are we not talking about supercars? It's not supercar.
We are, but if it's the slider, like, does the Civic be counted on the slider?
Well, the
Like,
question
what's
was
a 0?
The question was entry level supercar.
So what's a 1 on the performance slider of supercars?
An LP 580.
Or just like old supercars?
Yeah.
like a Gallardo? Are we only looking at like 2010 plus?
Oh, okay. So now is a whole different thing because now with how far we've come, is the Gallardo still a supercar?
Because I got to create the scale.
That's
yes,
fair.
the Gallardo is still a supercar.
Is it though?
Yes, it's a V10 Lambo. It's a V10 Lambo. Get out of here.
But that qualifies as a supercar?
Yes. Once a supercar, always a supercar.
All right, fine. I'll give it to you. So then, all right.
It's just a classic supercar.
Modern day scale. What's the low end modern day scale? Okay, fine. 458. That's the low scale because that's a very underperforming performance car.
Mm-hmm.
Drives nice, high revving, sounds great, but speed slow. So that's the bottom on modern day scale. 458.
Okay.
So where would you place
the
that?
Huracan's a 4?
I think I fucking hit it right on the head.
Okay. Respect depends on who you're talking to.
Very much so.
You might run into a 10. You might run into a 1.
Yep.
Depending on who it is. That one's a big old toss up. Reliability, solid. Supercar world, it's a 10. It's the reliable one.
The sound, I need to include the sound because it helps the Huracan case boost itself.
Sounds fun.
Because if it's a Ford performance, the sound is like 720 versus sound, it helps it. So like the sound has to be included because you can't beat that V10. And if you throw on Valvetronic's new F1 exhaust system on top of it, now you have a fucking thing. Because let me tell you, that R8 was fucking crazy. Like it's actually crazy. Like I wish you would have heard it. Like it is quite literally an insane system.
I had to be in Japan.
I know, right? The one fucking time, one time in Japan, it was crazy. It makes those cars kind of become more viable as like a fun third car option, if that makes sense. Like in a garage staple, having that car with that exhaust is a fucking hoot.
It's that crazy, huh?
It is that crazy. I'm not bullshitting you. This is no promo, no nothing. Fuck Austin, the whole thing. That it's actually a very solid sounding system.
All right.
Sorry.
I'll take your word for it.
I have to be real about it.
You're sometimes a good judge of sound.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did have the loudest Aventador. It's also past tense because, I don't have that car anymore when this comes out. So,
what high-end car brand do you think is going to be superior in 10 to 15 years?
High-end car brand?
Yeah.
The fuck does that mean?
What supercar brand is going to be like the top 10, 15 years, I guess?
Fuck, that's a hard one to tell.
Because everyone's on a trajectory right now. So who's going to be the top?
Well, okay.
In 10 or 15 years?
Ferrari is for sure not. They're on a downtrend. Aston Martin's on the highest uptrend, but for them to beat the top,
right. They're not playing the same game.
They're not playing the same game.
They're in the highest uptrend for where they are.
They're catching up,
but they're not Lambos.
All right, what
they do to make the Valkyrie.
I'm going to say it, McLaren
or the Valhalla. They still
McLaren's
make
going to be the best.
You think so?
Yeah.
If they dial in their reliability,
I'm taking a bet that in 10 years they'll dial it in because their performance really is unmatched. Like if you really break down the performance, the distribution, those cars fuck. If they just had reliability and they sounded a little bit better, they'd be hard to compete.
They'll be the top or they'll go bankrupt. One of the two.
Either or. We'll see. They got bailed out the other day. No, somebody bought them the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
Some Saudi or some shit like that came in. And we're like, don't worry, I got enough shit funds from oil.
Or is BYD going to be the top?
I don't know, dude. Those cars are also stupid. Those cars are ridiculous.
But it's all electric.
Can we talk about that?
It's not there.
How far ahead China is in their automotive development in some of this shit than we are. Like that Forest Reviews car that he posted. Like how much more advanced that fucking thing is than like anything that we have. Isn't that kind of sad?
You know why?
Why?
Because it's so much more cost effective to make the car there.
Yeah.
So they can load it up with features and everything, and it costs them. The car that costs $50,000 there would be $150 here, and no one would buy it.
You don't think that there's a market for that car at $150 here?
Not enough of a market. Look at the Lucid. How many of them do you see?
Well, the Lucid didn't have the fucking like that car has the most options, features, everything I've ever seen.
Right. And how much is the Lucid? And it doesn't have all that stuff.
Right.
Built here.
That's what I'm saying though. Like I'm saying if that Chinese car came here and let's price it at $150.
If the Chinese car was made here, maybe it would be $200.
Probably would. But I'm saying if the car was here
so
priced
is the market
at $150.
there for $200? No.
What's the performance on that car like?
Just think of a Tesla.
It's not though. That's the what I'm getting at. It's not a Tesla.
It is.
It's not. It gets fucking 600 miles of range. That's disgusting.
Does it actually?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The car as a whole, it's fucking ridiculous.
They haven't EPA tested it.
That's it. The answer to the question is regulations. That's the actual thing. They have no regulations. They're a fucking communist country. They can do it. They just
Exactly.
do
They
whatever
do whatever they want.
They do it.
You don't know who's making that car.
Exactly.
Making the parts for it.
If it was a reliable maker that produced that same car, I think there's a market in the 150 200 range.
That person is not making $8.25 an hour.
Fuck no, they're not. No, they're not.
That's making that car. So that's how they can have. That's why they're so advanced. There's your answer. And that's why they won't let them sell it here. Because they know that we can't compete with them in that world.
So one of the things I read too is that depending on what happens, the EU is actually speaking to China right now about allowing like their electric vehicles into the EU. That might be pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tesla right now has like I think the most dominant share of electric vehicles in that region. If China enters that thing, I wonder what the fuck's gonna happen.
Well, have you seen the BYD supercar that can jump?
No, I haven't. I think I've seen a rendering of it, but I haven't seen it jump.
It can jump.
Like actually just
Yes. Like if there's like a 6-foot pothole, if a bridge collapsed 6 feet in the middle for some reason, it could jump.
It sounds like a Chinese problem car.
Yes. It like I don't know if it like pops the suspension. I think it like pops the suspension right before it hits it and then sucks the suspension in. And if you're going a certain speed, you carry over like 3 inches above the road for 6 feet.
That's pretty fucking impressive.
They have videos of it. You can go look it up. Go look up the car jumping.
Can I look it up real quick?
They got a jumping car.
What is it called?
The BYD. Just look up BYD jumping car.
I'd literally type in BYD. It's the first thing that pops up.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Got a jumping car. I don't know where that's useful. Maybe in LA where all of our potholes are crazy. At the end of the day, it's an electric supercar, and Rimac has proven that no one wants that. I don't want that. You don't want that. No one wants that. Jump or not.
I don't want that. I don't care how fast the 0-60 is. I don't want that.
Or if it can jump.
I don't give a shit. It actually doesn't look that bad though. This car?
No, it doesn't look that bad.
No.
It looks very GTA.
Yeah, it does.
Very like Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm pulling up to my apartment in Los Santos in some weird ass shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
my high rise apartment, and that's just West Hollywood, just remade.
We got an electric car that jumps before we got GTA 6.
That's fucking wild.
How about that?
That's pretty crazy. I didn't know the BYD shit was like that. We straight off topic talking about China and shit.
I know. Now we only got 15 minutes. So, anything you want to cover before we run out of time?
Nothing really specific, bro. To be honest with you,
There's nothing you're trying to talk about.
no. I mean, I could talk about it if we want. Do we want to talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it?
We could talk about it, yeah. So, guys, the SCC Aventador is officially gone. Dear to our hearts. The car was loved. A lot of people came to know and love it. I love that car. The car was like a childhood dream of mine that I accomplished. We have moved off that car, and I have gotten something else.
Are you going to say it or not yet?
I don't know. No, I'll say it.
How done is it?
Huh?
How done is it?
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
You're getting it next week.
Yeah. Tuesday.
When this comes out, you'll have it.
I will have had it.
And there's no chance that this episode comes out and something happened and you don't have it.
There's no chance.
It's done.
There's no chance.
All right.
No. Unless somebody crashes it in the showroom.
Mhm.
But that car's not moving. So
As long as they don't give me the keys, they're fine.
they're fine. They're Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
I will have a fully built, fully done up 570S. No, I got an 812 Superfast. So I'm excited for that car. We swapped V12 teams officially. So we went from Lambo V12 as the young douchebag that wants attention to the middle-aged, sophisticated, wants attention, Ferrari driving asshole. Pretty much where I'm at.
Still the second dumbest name of all time.
812?
Super fast. They really put super fast in the name. This is the 812 super fast.
Ferrari too. Of all
Did they
things.
ask a 12-year-old to name the car?
So bad. It's fucking. The thing is, that car is not even super fast.
Right.
It's not. The 720S should be 720 super fast. That
Right.
would make some fucking sense. But that shit's not super fast. It sounds good.
It sounds great.
It's all right. I drove a stock one.
It's pretty fast. The
It's
812
decent.
pretty fast.
It's decent.
The 812 kind of fast.
It's decent. It's
Yeah.
decent.
The A12 decently fast.
Problem that I'm gonna have is I drove a stock one, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing as the Aventador. I think it's maybe even a little bit more. It's so fucking underwhelming stock, like disgusting overwhelming. So like I need exhaust tune immediately, or else I'm just not gonna. The car's not gonna be enjoyable for me at stock. So I
Yeah.
have to do that. So we're in the process right now of figuring out what we're gonna run on it, what we're gonna do, also what mods on top of it, wheels. Will it be a crazy wrap? Should we do some like SCC livery wrap?
I think you should get some BBS LMs on it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Bro, but I'm not my mid-30s, 40-year-old, overweight, chubby fingers. I'm not doing that, bro.
At least we know the previous owner took care of the car.
We do know the previous owner took care of the car. You guys, the previous owner is a good friend of ours, so shout out to him watching this. I know he's going to enjoy me talking about this and everything like that. But if you guys will see it once I post it, it's been on the internet before, so you guys are going to like it. Wheel choice has been something I've been considering. Can I show you what I've been considering?
Sure.
And you tell me if this looks good or not? Because
Yeah.
I haven't even showed anybody. I haven't even showed Lauren, so that's part of the thing that is pretty cool. But check this out, and you tell me if I'm crazy or is this shit kind of hot. Ignore the fact that Costume's in the bottom right corner on FaceTime. What do we think? Is it crazy or is it kind of hot?
Can it be both?
I think it can be, because I think it kind of is both.
It is kind of both.
Like there's an argument made to make that's kind of stupid, but there's an argument to be made that shit's kind of hot.
They're kind of clean.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Who is this?
MV Forged.
This is MV Forged?
Yes. And I officially got plugged into MV Forged now. So I have a great deal with MV Forged now. So Supercar Connection is a huge fan of MV Forged.
That's pretty clean.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. So this might be an option.
Yeah.
So it's either this or BBS LMs. I just, after the disappointment, the Revelto with BBSs, I don't think I can go BBS.
Yeah, the Revelto's not the right car for it.
Fuck no, it's not the right car.
Ferrari has always been one of the right cars for it.
But not the 812.
Ferrari and Porsche.
Not the 812.
I haven't seen it on the 812. I have to see it.
I'll show it to you. It's not. It just doesn't
Yeah.
look right. I don't know. It's just, I think like a mid-engine Ferrari, I can make an argument for it.
Yeah.
But not front mid-engine like this 812.
Mhm.
It's just I think BBSs are like a
Good on a 360 manual.
Yep. Super good on that.
Mm-hmm.
Tan interior, very nice.
I don't think I've seen a 458 on BBSs.
Misha had one.
Of course.
It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Why wouldn't Misha have one?
They're decently looking clean. Like a 488 on BBSs. Clean.
Yeah. Works.
812 doesn't work.
SF90 works.
Does work. 812 Pac-Man's didn't work, but shout out to Pac-Man. That shit did not work. But the 812 is just, I think it's too big of a
I think it's
presence
because it was
car.
TDF blue.
I think so. And he's polished wheels finish. I don't know. It was a very Cambodian spec is what it was, but whatever. 812 is, I think it's too big, too much presence for a little wheel like that. I think it
Mhm.
needs a big multi-spoke fucking crazy ass wheel is what I think. So
Yeah.
that's why I think that looks fuck. So imagine that wheel, red accents instead of the yellow that I showed you, with some type of Supercar Connection livery wrap on it. That would be pretty fucking hot.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm here for it.
We'll see what happens.
I'll take it.
Gavin and I are going to go through a very deep design process on the wrap that will be on the car. So we'll see. We have a couple ideas. We'll see what direction we take. It's going to be fun.
If you're watching out there and you're wanting to sponsor the wrap and put your logo all over it, contact at supercarconnection.com.
Yep. And even wheel brands. I showed Gavin a set of wheel here, but if you guys have something you think would be better, hit us up. We can talk about it and see what's up.
Yeah. We're down to get free stuff.
100%.
That's basically what we're saying.
100%. The Supercar Connection 812 is down for sponsors and everything else in between. Granted, you have to meet some qualification lists because the same thing, I am driving it. So I'm not going to look like an idiot driving it. Okay. You're
Fair.
also coming off the Aventador. Big shoes to fill. So we got to mod the car properly to get there, which we are going to get there, though. I'm excited. The first thing is going to be exhaust and the tune. So we'll see what happens. See who we go with.
Yeah. We've
See what
got
happens.
options.
We do have options. So we'll see what happens.
We've had a lot of exhaust makers on the
Everyone wants to shake their case and stuff like that.
on the show here.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for it, though. And coincidentally enough, my birthday, by the time this come out, I think this releases on my birthday.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mama.
Everyone
Thank
wish
you.
Joe a happy birthday today.
Thank you, guys. I'm getting old, but I'm excited to get the car. It's like a, how to describe it? I feel like it's a direct translation of myself in the car scene directly. Like the Aventador was fun. It was great. I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. It was my dream and everything. And now I'm more refining. I think I'm becoming a little bit more sophisticated gentleman, a little bit more mature. I think I am. You guys can tell me if I am. Maybe I'm just the same slapdick I was 2 years ago. But The transition feels nice. Like I feel like I'm in a car. Plus, it's comfortable, and I'm very much looking forward to it being comfortable because I haven't been. The 720 was comfortable-esque. The Aventador was not comfortable. This might actually be comfortable, so I'm excited. We'll see what happens.
What was I going to say? It seems like this is kind of a natural progression for a lot of Aventador owners right now. The 812 is kind of on the rise.
It's a very trending car right now.
Yeah.
Very trending car. And I actually didn't know this too, and I forgot. Eric's the one that told me the bullshit, but apparently the super fast model is more desirable for exhaust systems. And I forget, there's a component, there's a piece I'm missing to the story that makes sense. But he was telling me something about the GTSs that like make it 10 times harder to install an exhaust system on them. And I don't remember the fucking point, but he was like, it was a big complaining. Like, you know, Eric would go on those little rants. Like it was a big rant.
Right.
So I think super fast specifically is on like the desired trend.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm catching it on the.
I was thinking just 812 in general.
I agree.
You know what's crazy? I saw an 812 comp listed maybe today. 2.8 million.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it was the comp convertible.
One of our boys has it listed. Or he has an Aperta. A comp. Oh, he has a comp. Sean, Exotic Car Factory.
Yeah. This was a comp Aperta.
Oh, fuck me.
$2.8 million.
It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. Have you seen those videos where people are like this or an SVJ? And I'm like, they're not the same price. There's a fucking $2.5 million car. SVJ is fucking
right. It's like this or a Chiron.
Yeah, exactly. That's fucking ridiculous.
Kind of beat Chiron, but
yeah,
Chiron.
Very beat Chiron.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy. I don't know. I think the 812s, they're just a staple car. It's clean. This is a car I'm also trying. I think I'm finally entering my collector era. So I'm going to stop moving off of whips, and it's going to be more of a collection of whips now.
I think so.
So this will be the first. We think so. God knows what's going to happen. But
yeah, we'll see.
I hope this is the first of the stable, and then I just add on to it. So we'll see what happens. But I think this is a great first building supercar.
I think you'll have this car. You'll get to a point where you're done with it, and then you'll get 2 cars that you want to add to the stable.
That'd be pretty fucking awesome.
It's kind of what I think.
I have those 2 in mind already.
458, 765.
You're close.
Close.
You're very close.
What is it?
For like replacements?
765 in Cullinan?
No.
458.
When we get there, we'll figure it out, Gavin. Come on, maybe let me enjoy my 812 a little bit. We haven't even gotten to that second stage yet.
I'm spot on. 458, 765.
You're almost spot on.
Both spiders.
You're almost spot on. You're almost spot on.
Sorry. 458, spider. 765, spider. Now I'm right on.
You're almost there. You're almost there. It's dependent on my financial situation if you're right or not. If that makes sense. Because if I crank it, 458's out the picture. If I don't crank it, 458's in the picture. If like that makes sense, yeah. Because remember, I'm collecting whips. Collection.
The 458's not something you want in the collection.
I do, but I think I have more time to collect that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like
that price point, yeah, it's going to rise, but it's at 200. Even if it gets to 300, I'm not scared. The other cars.
Speciale?
That would be fucking clean.
Yeah,
that would be so clean. I don't know.
The Speciale Apertas go for over $1 million.
They do?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's wild.
It is actually fucking. For what? A fucking hood design and rarity?
Yeah. Everything's rarity.
Yeah, everything's relative.
Body kitted Aventadors. Millions. Millions.
That's true too.
So that's how it works.
Is that all our time?
We got
guess questions?
Got 5 minutes. Guess questions.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead. Do your thing. We have one more question we can end the episode on. We guys don't have a guest today, so I can't do guest questions. But I would ask Gavin, and Gavin would ask me. But we already answered one of the guest questions in a different sense within the fucking question and everything else in between. And to buy time for Gavin to look at the phone and stuff like that. If you guys have any mod suggestions, anything else in between, drop it down. Let us know what it is. I'm open to all different ideas in the 812, so I'm excited for it.
You know what's funny? A question that's coming during the episode.
Hit me.
Lamborghini SVJ or Ferrari 812?
Whew.
So I guess we'd have to go GTS because that's the price point.
It would have to be.
So SVJ or GTS? And you can probably get a pretty sick spec at that price point too.
You could. I think it's just heavily dependent on what the end user wants from the car. But if we're not going to talk about that, we're just going to compare the two fucking cars. I would say SVJ because again, I do like it, but I think it's really dependent on the fucking end user's desire for the car because they are different. I think people categorize them, but they are completely different. Reliability, single clutch versus dual clutch, even the sound of them, the presence, price point, everything else in between. I don't know. I would say SVJ, if we're just comparing car to car, SVJ.
Yeah.
That's me.
I'd rather have an SVJ.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I think as an over time, the A12 is a better pick. Because part of the reason, it's even the same thing with me. Like, people are like, why are you getting rid of the fucking Aventador? Your thing was built crazy stuff like that. I'm thinking long term, like I said, I'm entering my collector era. The A12 is a better long term car than that. Dual clutch, it's better tech, the whole nine. It's just a better overall car. But the SVJ has like the two sliders that the SVJ has maxed out are fucking maxed out. It's the top of those maxed out things. So it's hard to beat those. If it was just Aventador A12, it's a lot easier conversation because A12 shits on it.
In a lot of ways. But I've always loved the Aventador. Oh, and, you know, I drive a front engine car, but I prefer a rear mid-engine car. So mine's front mid-engine, I believe.
Yeah.
My engine's behind the axle.
Yeah. Like the A12.
Yeah.
Same type of thing. I just can't wait for Gavin to get into his Porsche era. Very excited for that to happen. That might be the end of Supercar Connection by the time as we know it.
I think we're years away from that.
Do you think so?
I think so.
How many years? Like 10 or like 7?
Like, I've got to rip through a lot of cars before I go, you know what? Let's get the GT4 RS.
Well, here's the thing.
Let's get the Boxster RS.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think you will have a Porsche within 3 years.
Within 3?
Yeah.
Within 3?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see.
Because I think you're going to have the ability to have 2 or more within 3 years. And then the GT4 argument is going to creeper higher and higher. And then all of a sudden you have your 600 LT and you go, what's another car I can add to this? I can afford a GT4. Let's go get one. I think that's 3 years away or within 3 years away. I don't think it's 7. Because remember, that's on the condition you have one car.
Yeah.
You're for sure going to have 2 supercars within 3 years. For fucking sure. The question is, what's that second car going to be? And what would the first car be?
I don't know.
What level will you be at that point?
Exactly. We'll see.
I think 600 LT, Spider, and then GT4 is a fucking nasty duo combo.
If I got the GT4, I'd probably rather have the 765 at that point.
Think so?
765 GT4.
That's also a nice little Canyon cover.
750 LT, whatever that ends up being. The 800 LT.
Yeah,
in the GT4.
Nasty ass thing.
Yeah. Let's call it a wrap.
I like it. One thing, we'll finish the episode, but I want to say this. Gintani tuned the Artura. The guy who owns it is a friend of mine. Supposedly that car is fucking ridiculous. So I don't know how many more they're going to unlock, but I think it was like the first Artura that was tuned or whatever. They might be onto something with that. Like the Artura, supposedly it's like breeding Turbo S speed.
All right.
Supposedly.
I'd like to see it.
That's a little nugget of information.
Let me drive it.
I'll convince him to let us drive it. He's a friend of ours. So
thanks for your time.
Of course. I appreciate it, Gavin.
Yeah,
Likewise.
I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Of course, man. Anytime. I'll do anything for you guys.
We're SCC.
We're out.